What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Steve. Since 2024, I've tested nearly 200 TLabS earbuds, spending close to $20,000. And I realized that competition in the $50 and $100 price range is seriously brutal, but each has its own circumstances. If the $50 market is like the chaotic realm full of old packaging and the false advertising, then I would say the $100 market is more like the Roman gladiator arena packed with skilled soldiers, and then they fight to each other till the last man standing. But here's the thing, the closer you get $100, it doesn't always mean that product is better. Sometimes just adding a few extra bucks to that $50 range then give you an experience that's way more better than its value. So today, I'm bringing you these 10 most recommendable in-ear TWS under $100. And we are not going to do some wordplay stuff. Everything here is based on my real-world testing. At the end of this video, you will also get some quality demos and a code test. Cut the crap, let's dig in. And before getting started, it's worth mentioning that most of these earbuds can be found in AliExpress or Amazon. Well, since I don't have any sponsor yet, I won't be posting any links in the description. But feel free to search for them on your own. Today, I'll be dividing these earbuds into S, A, B, and C level, which are based on objective parameters, my personal preferences, and value for money. That means even the C-level ones are still good and have certain advantages, making them worth of recommendation for specific needs. We will mainly be testing sound quality, latency, battery life, and noise cancellation. I've placed the testing methods for the latency and battery life on the screen above, so you can pause and take a look. Alright, let's get started. First off, our S-level recommendation, the Rosa Earfree i5. The sound of Earfree i5 is impressive right off the gate. The bass is tight, not dragging, though not quite punchy, but clear and dynamic. The mids, especially the vocals, are lively and useful, with a good control on sibilance. What stands out most is that for its price, it delivers near flagship level clarity. The treble is rich in details without being harsh. This brand isn't widely known yet, but trust me, if you prefer IEM-like sound with less aggressive on bass and want a high resolution, this is your top choice in this price range. I've seen more and more positive reviews about this one on Reddit recently, and I'm glad people are starting to recognize this brand. By the way, it's also the only earbud in today's list with metal housing. I've been using it for 3 months now, and it hasn't shown any sign of wear. And there's no smudging from the fingerprints. This brand is all about catering to people's needs and doing cool, out-of-the-box things with limited budget. I actually did comparison video between the Earfree i5 and Nothing Buds 2 Plus before. And in short, the Earfree i5 has massive advantages in vocals and treble. It's bright and glorious and tight bass but not overwhelming. You can check out that video for the more details. The Earfree i5 has impressive battery life of 6.5 hours on the single earbuds and up to 40 hours with a charging case, ranking first in terms of total battery life. And latency measures as 162 milliseconds, which is good for everything except resin games or PUBG type game. As for the noise cancellation, while it's weak on low frequencies, it still offers a good overall experience. Its noise reduction is much better than some brands that exaggerate that max decibel reduction figures, so I'd say it's solid above average, especially for the human voice and wind noise. Our second S-level recommendation, the Earphone AirPro 4. With a price almost identical to the Earfree i5, the sound signature is almost the opposite. The Earphone AirPro 4 follows the standard Harman tuning with more bass and retain the good rebound and shape without being too boomy. But the mid-range and treble feels pretty average. While the treble is not dull, it lacks some excitement. And because it's trying to give you this soundstage focus feeling so that you can get immersive experience, but sometimes it feels rather pale instead. While the treble is not dull, it lacks some excitement, and because it tries to give you this soundstage focus feeling so that you can get immersive experience, but sometimes it feels rather pale instead. However, the app does improve the overall experience, so although it's based preferences, but I still recommend it. The battery life measured at 7.5 hours and 35 hours total with the case, which is excellent. And latency is in the double-digit range at 83 milliseconds, solid. However, the noise cancellation here is pretty underwhelming. Both the depth and breadth of noise reduction are behind the competition, barely accessible. Now, moving on to our first A-level recommendation, the Liberty 4NC. Although this model has been around since 2023, but its value has increasing over time. A big reason for this is that it's now priced at about a third of its launch price, and it looks like it will stay that way for a while. The sound of Liberty 4NC is bass preferences too, with great depth and bounce, but mids and highs, although it's detailed indeed, can sound a bit cold and lack emotion warmth. I suspect it uses LCP diaphragm, which provides rigidity, but can lack some flexibility, resulting in vocals and sometimes sounds a bit harsh or even distorted. Though the app does improve this issue to some extent, but in the end it's hard to fully eliminate them just by EQ adjustments. Also, people generally aren't happy with call quality, which sounds muffled or like you are talking in a tunnel. You can check out in the call test later. And battery life is measured of 5 hours plus 25 hours, which outdated for sure, and the latency is disappointing to 220 milliseconds, below the acceptable line. And the noise cancellation is decent, especially for low-frequency noise like air conditioners, though it doesn't perform as well with human voices. Still, at its current price, the Liberty 4NC remains a solid competitor. Next up, another A-level recommendation, the Oppo Enco Free 4. This is the first product from the smartphone brands today. Phone manufacturers tend to add a bit of a premium to their products, but they do offer more stable quality and generally better customer services if they don't play fast and loose with the pricing. Oppo and OnePlus are closely related, so sometimes OnePlus release products that are essentially identical to Oppo's, just with a different logo. For instance, the OnePlus Buds Pro 3 is essentially the Oppo Enco X3. The Enco Free 4, however, is different from the OnePlus Buds 4 in terms of tuning. After experiencing both, I found the differences wasn't big enough to treat them as the completely different products. And the main reason I prefer the Enco Free 4 is lower price, which about $30 less than the OnePlus Buds 4 on AliExpress. And sound-wise, the Enco Free 4 follows the standard Harman tuning with a warmer sound. Vocals aren't too close, and the bass is thick with good reverb, while the treble is fine but smooth, creating a good sense of atmosphere. The app tuning is very mature and comes with various settings, plus some exclusive features if you are an Oppo or OnePlus phone user. Battery life is 5.5 hours, 22 hours within case, which is somewhat behind its competition. But its latency is incredibly low at 50 milliseconds, making it a great for gaming. Noise cancellation is the best in its price range, within the deep 55 dB of noise reduction. So if the noise cancellation is important to you, the Oppo Enco Free 4 is definitely the way to go. Next up, the Realme L7 Pro. I've been doing a lot of content on Realme L7 Pro lately, but don't worry, no sponsor here. The Ear 7 Pro and Ear Free i5 are currently my go-to daily rotation. Here's the quick example. If I want to listen to some jazz, city pop, or female vocals, I will pick Ear Free i5. But if I'm in the mood for rock, rap, or something gritty, the Air 7 Pro is my choice. Although the Air 7 Pro follows the Harman tuning as well, its bass is more tight compared to the Oppo Enco Free 4, and the mids, especially the vocals, have great detail and are more forward in the mix, which gives it a lively feel. However, the bass doesn't overpower the rest of the sound. It's got that energetic vibe, but still remains balanced. In terms of app features, the Air 7 Pro has most of the same function as Oppo and OnePlus. Plus, it has dynamic audio features that allows you to tweak bass, mid, and treble individually, and still within the EQ settings. However, I found that adjustments were a bit hard to balance in IRL. Apparently, sometimes it would destroy some certain tracks, so I wouldn't recommend to use them too much. Battery life test shows it lasts 6 hours when single use, 26 hours with a case, which is pretty solid. And the latency is at very good 82 milliseconds. As for the noise cancellation, it doesn't perform as well as the Oppo Enco 4 in terms of algorithm, with the deepest noise reduction being about 53 decibel. I mean, it's decent, but it could definitely use some improvements in terms of wind noise cancellation. And now let's talk about the Soundpeats Air 5 Pro. This one is quite a shame. The sound quality of the Air 5 Pro definitely deserves the S level rating. In terms of bass, it has an amazing, punchy feel, almost like the Pizza Master slapping the dough. At the same time, the high frequency are bright and beautiful, and the soundstage is wide and airy. The default sound is very engaging already, and I would say is quite addictive to listen to. However, the app is where things go downhill. While the EQ settings are generous with 10 bands, I guarantee that most people will never find a satisfying setting. Why? Because the app is ridiculously slow. Every time when you're trying to adjust something, you need to wait for like 10 seconds, no matter you are turning down the 1 decibel or anything else. I don't know if it's because the app or the chip itself causing this, but if it does the app problem, I really hope they fix the ASAP. Battery life is pretty impressive, lasting 7.5 hours plus 37 hours within the case, and this latency is decent at 81 milliseconds. The noise cancellation performance is mid-tier, with the deepest noise cancellation being around 43 decibel, especially the mid-frequency separation is weak. Now, onto the B-level recommendation. This product may have some clearly weakness, but they also have some really strong points in specific areas. So if you prioritize certain features, they could still be solid pick. First in the B-level is the CMF Buds 2 Plus by Nothing. I recently gathered all the CMF series products, and my conclusion is that the Buds 2 Plus is the best sounding one in the CMF lineup. That actually makes sense because the Nothing's audio products have been continuously improving, and the Buds 2 Plus is the latest 2025 version. However, in this price range, as a base preferences earbuds, it feels it's fall short compared to the previous models. The main issue is that the CMF series lack of clarity. While the bass sounds great, when listening to the genres like rock or funk, or when there's a lot of vocals and treble, the Buds 2 Plus can sound like cheap radio. Another issue is that Nothing still hasn't mastered their drivers. While the EQ is adjustable with a plus or minus 6 decibel range, you will quickly realize that the overall loudness is capped. So it means the practical range for adjustments is often just 2 to 3 decibel, meaning the driver are reaching their limits. Battery life is 5.5 hours plus 22 hours within the case, similar to the A-level Enco 4, so it's a bit behind the competition in terms of long-term use. The latency is 253 milliseconds, which is a bit too high, and you will definitely notice a lag, especially when watching YouTube, not to mention the gaming. Noise cancellation is decent in terms of low-frequency separation, barely falls behind the Earfree i5 and the Liberty 4NC for broader noise isolation. Next, we have Realme L7, a product I actually really like. But when you factor in its price, it does make you hesitate, especially when it's up against competitors like Earphone Air Pro 4 and Earfree i5. I can tell that Realme really focuses on the tuning here, making the most out of its limited clarity. It has a warm sound overall, with a smooth, detailed vocals and good control over sibilance. The bass is dynamic with enough punch, but treble could use a bit more detail. That being said, as long as you are not listening to complex genres like classical or jazz, the L7 does a good job. The app is well developed, offering all the features you would expect from the big brands. Battery life is solid at 7.5 hours plus 30 hours with a case, and the latency is an impressive 63 milliseconds, making it perfect for gaming. The noise cancellation isn't as good as some other models, but it's still better than the Earphone Air Pro 4. While the L7 might not have the best high-frequency separation, it does offer more enough than the general use. Now, onto the C-level recommendations, which are products might not compete at the highest level, but have their unique feature and charm. At least I have a lot of fun when using these things. First, the Sony CA510. As Sony's cheapest option in today's lineup, it's easy to tell it's from the aka Sony just by design and the materials. Sound-wise, it has a classic Sony 3-band approach, where the bass, mids, and treble are all present. But the overall sound is a bit warm and fuzzy, without much clarity. The biggest selling points for these earbuds are the app and battery life. Compared to the Beats Solo Buds, which are nearly the same size but lack decent app support, the Sony CA510 stands out. You get a proper EQ setting with Sony's app, while the Beats app is completely useless. Battery life is solid at 11 hours plus the 22 hours with the case. I think this is a well thought out battery solution, when you can comfortably use it for a whole working day plus commute without worrying about charging. However, the latency is quite high at 253 milliseconds, which is bottom of the barrier for today's earbuds. Also, it does not have active noise cancellation, as Sony likely designed it for the budget-conscious users who don't mind the passive sell instead. Finally, we have CMF Buds 2 Pro. This CMF does not outperform its newer sibling, the Buds 2 Plus, in terms of sound quality, noise cancellation, or the battery life, and its latency is 162 milliseconds, which isn't that good either. The reason why I'm still put it here only because of its functional physical knob. Before I bought it, I thought it was just a volume control, but I found it also functioned as a button, since you can not only rolling it, but also pressing it, which adds a lot of convenience. You can use the button to pause or play the music, switching between the noise cancellation modes to the transparency mode and more, which is incredibly practical. So although the latency of the knob is actually quite high, I still appreciate the functionality. All I need to do is just turn off the earbuds touch control entirely, and we can dealing with almost every situation with one knob. Overall, this could be the fun earbuds to try out. Open your mind, you can even hand the case to your partners. Ensure you can still hear them when you are focused if they need your attention without having slap off your earbuds entirely. To summarize, the S level like Earphone i5 and Earphone Air Pro 4 are almost flawless, with minimal compromises. The choice between them boils down to personal sound preferences. The A-level products are still excellent overall, but they do have some small flaws that don't take away from they to be a good one products in their respective areas. B-level products have a clearly weakness, but they excel in certain features, making them great choice for those with certain needs. The C-level products might not be mainstream, but they bring a sense of innovation and fun, making them perfect for people who enjoy experimenting with their audio gear. Alright, that's for this video. I will leave some demos of all products at the end of this video so you can check out their sound quality by yourself. If you have any question about TWS, IEMs, headphones, feel free to leave a comment down below. Alright, it's your boy Steve, keep exploring, and I see you in the next one.
Yet to crawl. He had a photo music and the magic in the air. Oh, it wasn't gravity that kept him there. Oh, but the music and the magic in the air.